Hello girls, gays, and non-binary babes. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Boston, and today I am so excited to talk about some really atmospheric fall books that will get you in the mood for autumn and October weather. So I've got a list of about 7 books here. Some of them are on the scarier side, but none of them are like give you nightmares, scary, just like mild creepy factor and all that good stuff. If you do want some really scary books, check out my previous video where I talked about my favorite like horror for the season. Those are all the really scary books, and these ones are more atmospheric. So yeah. Anyway, without any further ado, let's jump right on into it. The first book I have to recommend is Paradise Rot by Jenny Haval. This is a fantastic queer book about a girl who is studying abroad in England, I believe. She is originally from Norway. I can't quite remember. Anyway, she's studying abroad and she eventually moves in with this roommate that she finds who is staying in like an abandoned industrial building, which already gives off weird vibes. And basically like all of her senses start like going haywire, weird things start happening, and it's hard to explain. But this one's really weird if you like that, and will definitely give you fall vibes. This one is, I don't want to say on the scarier side, but it's just weird. So if you don't like, if you kind of generally stay within the safe area of books like thrillers and stuff like that, I wouldn't recommend this. But if you want to venture out of your comfort zone a little bit, then I would recommend this one. Next up, I feel like we should just get it out of the way. If you know me, you knew this book was going to be in here. But the next book I have to recommend is Beasts of Extraordinary Circumstance by Ruth M.E. Lang. This is my favorite book of all time. If you've been here for any amount of time, you know that. I read this every year, particularly around this time of year, because it is so atmospheric and gorgeous, and it really just puts me in the mood for fall and all the fall vibes. So yeah, this book is about a boy named Wylan who is born, and he's born during the middle of a snowstorm, and that sounds normal kind of, but it all makes sense. But anyway, he has these weird abilities, kind of. He grows up with wolves and he befriends a girl named Mary, and most of the story is told from Mary's point of view / other people he meets throughout his life. So he goes into foster care and is Mary's foster brother, and that is kind of how they meet and become friends, and they're kind of just little weirdos together. And eventually they grow up. Wylan discovers he has these abilities of sorts, and it's just really quiet magic, and I love it. And it doesn't really ever take place in the fall, but it just really gives off fall vibes. It's very cozy and warm, and it really just puts you in the mood. So if you pick up any of these books today, I would highly suggest you pick up this one. So the next book that I want to recommend is a recent release, and that is The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas. So this one is kind of like a Rebecca-esque style story. A woman is betrothed to this man who lives on this big estate, and there's a lot of secrets and stuff that him and the house, the women that like work in the house, like the maids and stuff, they are keeping something from our main character. It's very weird, very eerie, and the whole vibe just really feels like fall. Kind of like it just feels like the cover, and this cover just screams fall to me. So yeah, I really like this book. Yeah, it's pitched as Mexican Gothic meets Rebecca, and Oh, it's just amazing. This one, I would say kind of more on the scary side. Not like, I don't know, in your face scary, but just like mild creepy is what I would say. So yeah, this one's really good and super accessible. Like I got this one from Book of the Month. So yeah, it's easy to get your hands on it and it's really good. Next, my last physical book is a chunker. So if you've got a lot of time on your hands, then this one will be for you. But my next recommendation is The Historian by Elizabeth Kostova. This one is a dark academia Dracula story, which sounds really, really cool. But I don't think it's what you're thinking, so let me explain. So one day our main character, who is a younger girl, is kind of snooping in her dad's stuff, and she comes across a really big discovery. She discovers these letters that are a bit odd and end up linking her and her family to Dracula. And it's really cool. It's kind of like a hunt for Dracula kind of thing. It's told from different perspectives, different timelines. It's really cool. It's really like a whole epic of a book. It's really, really wonderful. And if you're into kind of historical, alternate history, historical fiction, I'd recommend this one, especially if you're into like Dracula and that stuff. Of course, Dracula is a really big Halloween fall theme, so I had to include this one. It's really good and it's not scary really. It's more, the whole book is more kind of the hunt across the world for what's going on, and it's just really intriguing and I love it, and it's filled with history and beautiful words. I just loved it. So yeah, this one was really good. Highly recommend it. So my next book that I have to recommend is gonna sound a little scary, but I promise it's not. Don't have a copy yet, but I do need to get my hands on one, and that is Woman Eating by Claire Coda. This is so wonderful. This is about a woman who is half vampire, half human, and also I can't remember what specific ethnicity she is, but she is also mixed like ethnicities. So yeah, there's that. She basically, this whole book is a really quiet vampire story, so there's no like horror aspect. I mean, there is, but there's no like scary parts. It's just kind of a quiet take on vampires, and I really, really liked it. Obviously, vampires are a big thing in the fall season, so that's why this is on the list. I just really love this, and more people need to read it. It talks a lot about identity and what your identity makes you, and I think it's really beautiful, and I think more people need to read it and be talking about it because it's an incredible book. I also believe it's a debut, and maybe not. I'm not sure about that one. But it's just absolutely gorgeous, and it's really short too, so if you don't have a lot of time, you can pick this one up. And the final book is Vida Nostra by, I cannot remember the authors' names. There's two authors. I believe they are a husband and wife. They are, funnily enough, they're Ukrainians from Russia. And this book is translated from Russian, I believe. Either Russian or Ukrainian, I can't remember. Anyway, this is a dark academia book, and I don't want to give away the goat, so I'm gonna be very vague about everything. This young woman one day meets this man, strange, mysterious man, and he gives her a task, and she has to do this task every day. Like, for example, one I believe was going out to the ocean that she was staying near, and every day swimming out to the buoy that was out there, touching it, and then swimming back. She had to do this just like every day at 5 a.m. or something like that. And when she does this, I believe she like throws up like a gold coin, and basically weird stuff, really weird stuff. And there's this school that eventually is introduced. It's a very mysterious school. very odd. I'm not gonna say anything more about it, but this one is going to work your brain. It's gonna be confusing a little bit, especially towards the end, and it's gonna require some brain cells, but I was able to read it and enjoy it, so not that many brain cells. So yeah, this one's really good. If you're looking for a book to challenge you, this one will do it. It's really incredible, and it will make you rethink everything. So wonderful, highly recommend it, especially if you are a dark academia fan. And yeah, the only downside to this one is that the ending is super like climatic, and the sequels are not translated yet. So that's the only downside, is that you like the sequels are out, but unless you can read either Russian or Ukrainian, you can't read the book, which is frustrating, but hopefully they will be translated soon. I'm not sure. But yeah, really good one. Highly recommend. And that is going to do it for my fall atmospheric recommendations today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to let me know what your favorite atmospheric fall books are down below. I'm always looking for new recommendations, so yeah, feel free. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.